What's going on, guys? Noah Sanford here. Today's video is going to be a quick review on the Daiwa Exceler LT 2500D reel. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the specifications on this reel, the applications that you might be interested in using it for, and whether or not it is worth the price tag. So jumping right into this reel, guys, I've owned it for about a month now, so I don't have a ton of time behind the wheel of this reel. However, being that I run a guide service here on primarily Lake Mead and Lake Mojave in southern Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas, I am on the water almost every single day. And so in that month, I have used this reel almost every single day, whether it's myself using it or also my clients day to day using this reel. So in that month, this thing has already probably caught over 100 bass. And so definitely not a ton of time behind it, but enough to start to get an idea of how I like this reel, kind of the ins and outs with it, and little quirks and things you might want to know about it when considering purchasing it. So honestly, I've been super impressed with this reel, guys. This is in the Finesse lineup from Daiwa. The LT, for those of you who don't know, stands for light and touch. So basically, it's the Finesse line of reels from Daiwa. So it's going to be that lightweight finesse feel. It's going to have that super low startup inertia, and overall just that really lightweight finessey feel when it comes to handling this reel and when it comes to the sensitivity that it provides. So it's going to be perfect for those Ned rig type baits, those drop shot baits, maybe small, just any, even like those dice baits, right? Any small finesse application that you're going to be using, this reel is going to excel in that area. Not to say that you can't throw a little bit heavier stuff on it, but I definitely see this as being used for more of those finesse type techniques. So that's kind of what this reel is designed for, and that's what I've been using it for. I've primarily been throwing little small finesse swim baits and drop shots on this reel in the time that I've been using it. And I have to tell you, it is extremely sensitive and extremely lightweight when it comes to throwing those finesse setups and those finesse rigs. I mean, you feel those really light bites down in that deeper water, especially when you have it paired up with some braided line like I do here. It's really an impressive reel, guys. So I've really enjoyed it for those finesse techniques. I think it's perfect there, and that's kind of where it shines. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs. So I've got some of the specs from Daiwa's website pulled up here on my phone. Basically, some of the key specs, obviously the gear ratio is going to be a 6.2 to 1. For those of you who don't know what the gear ratio is, basically every time you turn this handle a complete rotation, that is going to rotate that line around the spool 6.2 times. So 6.2 is a little bit on the high end, but not really. I mean, standard is somewhere between like 5.5 to 6.5. So it's kind of a little bit on the high end, but I found it's actually really nice for making those longer casts with those finesse type stuff, especially like fishing a drop shot or something in deeper water. When you're finished with that cast, you can reel up that line super quick and get it in efficiently and effectively to make that next cast quicker. When it comes to the line retrieve per crank, we're talking 34.5 inches, approximately 87 centimeters, and that's for the 2500 model like we have here. The weight is 195 grams, or for those of you who in the US don't know what grams are, it's going to be 6.9 ounces. So very similar to kind of like that Shimano Vanford type feel. It's going to be very lightweight in that sense. Honestly, when you're handling this next to a Vanford, and I'm going to tell you why I have a Vanford here in a minute, when you're handling it next to each other, you really can't hardly tell the weight difference. They're very similar feeling reels. When it comes to the max drag, we have 22 pounds, so that's actually a lot of drag packed into this little reel. You're never going to have an issue fighting those fish, especially in those freshwater applications when using this 2500 size. If you do, you probably are going to want to get a game warden out there because you've got some sort of lake record on the other end of your line. Line capacity is pretty standard. Monofilament, 8 pounds, you're going to get 240 yards out of. 10 pounds, you're going to get 210. 12 pound, 150. And then your braided, same thing. Your 10 pound is going to get you like 160. So pretty standard for the line capacity as well. It's got 5 ball bearings of the internals of this reel, plus obviously that one roller bearing where your line goes. And the body material, this is an important one. They use their Zion V body material, which basically is that lightweight carbon fiber body, and mixed in with some of that aluminum as well. They've also got the air rotor and the air bail design for reduced weight and better balance. So basically, that's just kind of those internal features that are going to give you that really smooth and balanced feel when you're actually handling this reel and flipping the bail and doing everything like that. So that's kind of the specs with this reel, guys. The thing I really wanted to talk about, though, is just how impressed I am with this reel, honestly, for 99 bucks. I mean, it's a very, very impressive reel if you're going after that lightweight finesse type reel and you're going after something that can perform well for that application. And the reason I was talking about a Vanford a minute ago, Shimano Vanford 2500 is kind of like that staple when it comes to the Finesse spinning reels, especially for those freshwater applications. It's kind of the workhorse, the all-around, you know, considered very nice, but not so nice that it's extremely expensive. These come in at $249, so we're talking almost 2.5 times the price. Actually, I guess that is exactly 2.5 times the price of this reel. And honestly, guys, you know, for those of you who've been watching the channel and not just this review, you guys will know that I absolutely love and adore the Shimano Vanford 2500. It's what I use for all my finesse applications, especially being out here on these desert fisheries. A lot of what we do is finesse fishing, and I have a couple of these Vanfords. They're just sweet reels. They perform really well. They're lightweight. The drag is smooth, and they last forever. So I've been running the Shimano Vanfords on a couple different finesse setups for several years now, and I've been super impressed with them. A lot of the biggest fish I've caught out here in the desert have come off of this exact reel. And to be completely honest with you guys, when you're handling the two reels next to each other, the Exceler LT and the Vanford, there's really not that much of a difference, to be completely honest. I mean, the reels feel very similar in the way that they pick up line and the reel speed. The actual startup inertia is what's really similar for me. You know, that really lightweight, you just breathe on that handle and it turns super easily. That is very similar as well. Same thing with the drag. The drags are both extremely smooth. And when it comes down to picking a finesse reel that's kind of in that $100 range, I think you get a lot of the same features and benefits when it comes to how these reels actually perform and feel on the water when you're using them, casting, fighting fish, as you do on kind of like that higher end of the spectrum, like the Shimano Vanford in that $250 price range. Obviously, when it comes to longevity and everything else like that, I'm not sure how it's going to hold up compared to the Shimanos. I've been really impressed with Shimano reels. It's what I primarily run, but I decided when I picked this reel up, I would kind of go off and try, you know, just experiment a little bit with the Daiwa side of things. And I've been really impressed with it. It's really quite a similar reel to the Shimano Vanford when it comes to just how it feels and performs. And that's definitely a huge, huge compliment for this reel, considering the Vanford is 2.5 times the price of this reel. Now, like I said, where are you going to start seeing the differences? Maybe in longevity, maybe when it comes to long-term use, this reel is not going to perform and hold up as well as something like that Shimano Vanford in the higher price point. But for the amount of time I've been using it, it's really, really similar. It just reminds me so much of that Vanford in the way that it feels and the way that it casts, that lightweight, that ultra-sensitive feel. It's a very similar reel. So if you're going for that finesse type application, guys, Daiwa LT, Exceler, whatever this thing is called, the Exceler LT 2500. It's really probably not a bad pick, guys, especially for just $100 bill. I mean, you really can't mess it up with this guy. I would like to do a kind of longer term review, probably like in a year or a year and a half from now. I will do another one of these videos where we talk about the long-term usage of this reel and how it actually holds up and see if it actually is still that smooth a year from now with daily use. It's going to be really interesting to see, but so far with about a month under its belt, it's held up really well. It feels the same out of the box as it did a month ago as it does right now. So obviously really smooth, really lightweight. Drag is super tactile and clicky. You guys can hear that right there. Really impressed with the drag. When you're fighting like these bigger smallmouth here like we do in the desert as well, I mean, it's been super smooth. You guys know those smallmouth like to pull really hard, and it's done a really good job fighting some of those bigger smallies. The actual bail, click open and close, very smooth as well. And so really not much else to say about it, guys. Impressive reel for $100. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description down below where you can buy this reel for yourself. This is not a paid advertisement or endorsement from Daiwa of any kind or any sort. I just figured I'd share my thoughts with this reel with you guys, so that way you'll have a better decision when it comes down to whether or not you want to buy it. Like I said, though, if you're wanting that nice finesse, lightweight, sensitive reel, and you got $100 burning a hole in your pocket, this might be a good choice for you. So my name's Noah Sanford. Appreciate you guys always watching and come along. Make sure if you're not subscribed yet to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this, as well as on the water content, fishing reports, all that kind of stuff. As always, we'll see you guys out on the water.